Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Saturday Morning Makes. I meant to post on Saturday, but I got too busy with some things, so I'm posting now. I've got just a few things I want to show y'all that I've been making. I'll go ahead and start with some of the products that I've used. I think I showed y'all these before, but this is the Brutus Monroe shaker pouches. So for one of my cards, I think I showed you what I had done with it, and I hadn't made up my mind what I was going to do with it, but I finally made a card with it. So one of my cards is a shaker card using this product here, which I find super easy to use. I love these. Another thing I used is this embossing folder. I found this one on Amazon, and I'm trying to find any kind of tiny flower embossing folders. I love the way they look. I think I'll go and try to find some Sizzix ones too. I know there's some Sizzix ones as well that have just the small petite little flowers, so I'll try to kind of find some of those on sale when I can. But this is another thing I used. I made some Prim Heart tags, and what I used for those was this Sizzix die. I don't know if you can see the Prim Hearts, the primitive hearts there. And I'll show you the number here. 656335, and it's just called Hearts Primitive. So that's a nice sturdy die cut. I used that. And I made a little tag with this sentiment on it. This is from Scrap Diva Designs. And it kind of came as a set with a little apron die and the apron, the other little piece to it. Now I didn't use this one for the tag, but I'm going to make a whole bunch at some point. But for this particular one that I'm going to show you, I used this sentiment here. Baking is love, made edible. So I'm hoping to make a whole bunch more with these. So maybe in my next video I'll show y'all a bunch of tags made with these guys. But I did use one of the sentiments. Also on that tag, I used from my creative time the little bowl die. This is the small bowl die, D450. I used this guy. And for that particular tag that I made, I used a combination of these die cuts here from my creative time. And this one is called, sorry, kind of all over the place here. This one's called the Pretty Scallop Tall Tag Dies. All right, and that's this set here. And that coordinating with that are these. So they kind of, this one will sit kind of inside of that one and make a precious little tag. And these are called tall tag frame dies, or tall tag frame die layers. So I used, and these are both from my creative time. So I'm trying to collect more from all these sites, honestly. And then one of the cards I made is using this wood block stamp from one of my thrifty hauls. I found this at Goodwill for just super, super inexpensive. Where did she come from? I don't think she had a... Oh, she didn't have... Oh, yes, she does. Sorry, my bad. Let me get my glasses on. Maybe that'll help. Okay, so she is a Stampin' Up! From 1994, and just look at her. She's precious. I made one of my cards. I finally had a chance to use that. And I'm telling you guys, I go to Goodwill often now. I've always loved Goodwill, but I haven't always thought of it as a place to stop to go and get crafts. But I tell you what, sometimes when you go, you will find a bunch of great stuff for inexpensive stamps and stuff and different little things. And I've just been doing that quite a bit. I went and I got another haul. I got a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not going to show it today, but I'll show you one of them. Look at this little guy. Isn't he too stinking cute? I just love him. And this one is from Delafield Stamp Company. I haven't heard of that. I'm not sure. This looks like it might be an older stamp. But he sure is cute, and I haven't made anything with him yet, so maybe my next video I'll do some stuff with him. Okay, well, I'll go ahead and get into the things that I have made. Let's get started here. So that tag I was telling you that I made for my creative time, this is the tag. This is that outside scallop part, and then this is the inside little stitched frame. Yeah, and this is the small bowl die cut. Now, some of these came from, oh gosh, I guess I should have gotten that out for y'all too. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Maybe, maybe not, huh? This was one of the things that I had used from Peachy Keen, I think it was. It's one of her die cuts, Peachy Keen die cuts. They had like the little rolling pin and the, oh, here we go. Sorry about that, you guys. But it's this one, and I forget the name of it, but this is the die cut that I used for the rolling pin and the little spoon and spatula there. So it also has a bowl as well, so you can just make all kind of stuff with this. So that's one of the things. So yeah, I use these papers here are from Ornaments shop, and the rolling pin is made with that, and I just kind of colored the tip of it with a pink Copic marker. And the spoon and the spatula are they're pink gingham paper. But to give it just a little more of a pop of color, I went over it with this Copic marker. It's this one right here, RV04 Shock Pink. Wait, is that the one I used? You know what, y'all? I'm wrong. That's not the one I used. It's this one. The RV11, the pink. Oh, sorry, I'm way out of frame over here, sorry. But yeah, I kind of went over that pink gingham just a little bit more, just to kind of give it more of a pop. Otherwise, it was kind of too light up against this paper, so yeah. And this is that sentiment that I used from the Scrap Diva stamp, Baking is Love, Made Edible. Now in the back here, I just used a little piece of white paper here and ran it through that die cut, or no, I'm sorry, embossing folder, the little flower embossing folder, just to kind of give it a little bit of a some dimension and depth. And yeah, so that's good. I'm not done with it. I'm going to go ahead and punch out a hole and put some ribbon on it and stuff like that. And I thought this would be so cute to add to, like, you know, like a box of brownies or something, if you're making some cookies for somebody or that type of thing, to add to it. I just love this. I think it's so pretty. And this particular tag set with the scallop outside and the stitched inside, I love the way they look together. Make so many. I'm going to make 1,000 tags with this, I'll tell you what. Okay, so that's that one. That primitive heart die cut from Sizzix, I made a few little tags here, little Easter ornaments almost is kind of what I call it. I know that each season I like to have a little tree or a little something that I can hang little tags or little ornaments, and this is one of them. And this is just a piece of felt that I've been ripping up into strips, so you can see that. And these papers are, again, from Ornaments shop. And this little image, a lot of my images that you're seeing are from just some stuff that I printed up from Etsy. I went and looked up vintage Easter and vintage Valentine's and all kind of stuff, and I just have a whole bunch of cute little images that I found. This is some of them, and here's some more here. Just really sweet little images. I just love these. Such very vintage, very retro. Kind of reminds me of some of the things that I saw a lot when I was younger, you know. Y'all remember when we went to school and you did Valentine's? And you got the Valentine cards and your classmates would exchange them. That's kind of, this type of image reminds me of that type of stuff. And I just love it. Here's some more. And I forget the place I got these, you guys. If I remember, I will let y'all know on another video. But I tell you what, if you just go on Etsy and look up vintage Easter greetings or vintage anything like that, you'll see a bunch of stuff like this. And look at how precious these images are. I just love these. But yeah, so I printed a whole bunch of those, and a lot of my images that you're seeing today will be from this type of stuff that I found. And that's where she came, and I cut her out, you know, and just kind of backed her up against some pretty paper. And my hearts here, I did kind of put some of the little foam pads underneath to give it some dimension. So that's one of them. And here is another one. He's a little man bunny, I think. Look at him. He's got a little bow. And from here, this is just some greenery from one of my dye stashes. I forget which one. Just some little bit of sprigs. Actually, I had it just kind of left over sitting. I've got like a tin of stuff, just little random things, and I try to use it. So when I see those little moments to use some scrap pieces, that's perfect for these tags, you know. And then this is just a little plastic kind of embellishment. Almost looks like a sunflower. But this is another little tag. And here's another one. Again, I used some of that vintage paper that I printed, and I cut her out, and the same for her. This is some leftover sprig from something I was making, and I didn't need it, and I reused it. Save all your scraps. I save all my scraps and all little bitty pieces, you know, even if you don't think you're going to use them. But one day you will. You'll find a little spot to use them. And I didn't get this die cut out. I forgot I've got this guy here. It's a little doily. And so I've just kind of layered her up on some Arala Miha shop paper and a little doily and some little ribbon. And see this eyelet? I found a whole bunch of eyelets at Goodwill. Somebody didn't want them, and there were tons of different colors. So I got lucky. Now I have a ton of eyelets with different colors. So how fun is that? And I got that little pink gingham going here. So that's another tag. That's all my tags. I made some cards. Now here is that girl. Remember that little woodblock stamp? I finally kind of colored her up. Now I colored her with some distress inks, and I used that watercolor process with the distress inks. I've got a video that shows y'all how to do that. And that's what this is. That's how this is. And then on the outside, I used regular watercolor from like a paint tin. And see the little pink polka dots? I took this pink Copic marker. That's where I used the darker one I was showing y'all, the shock pink. And I just kind of came around and just made my own little polka dots around her. And this is just various paper from my stash. And I've got just some little pieces here. I think this die cut, I don't know if you can see. This is a little tag die from Impression and Obsession. I just cut that out of some scraps and put a piece on either side. And it just kind of made a nice little border there. And this is the inside of my card. Nothing fancy. This stamp also is from a Goodwill haul. So yeah, I use that. Another card. Again, this is one of those images that I've been printing out. A little vintage Easter image. I think I found these die cuts here off of Amazon. And there's an embossing folder back here. I forget which one that was. I think this is a Sizzix one. And I just layered this up with some green to make it look like she's sitting on some grass there. I don't know, that pink gingham. I just love gingham. I just can't get enough of it. I think it makes every card pop when you use gingham. And just layered her up on some different papers. And here's the inside. Put Happy Easter. This was also from a Goodwill haul, and so was this little guy. Found so many cute things. And then I used the paper. You can't hardly see it here, but I kind of continued on with that theme on the inside. So that's that card. Here is where I think I showed y'all this a long time ago. I had already made him, and I didn't know what I was gonna do with him. I finally just made it into a card. I said, you know what? Let's just make him into a card. And this is using that Brutus Monroe shaker pouch. So yeah, he's got some stuff, some glitter in there. I just think he's so pretty. And this is the inside. I haven't done much with the inside. I'll finish that up later. But yeah, he's so fun. Such an interactive. Kid would love them. My granddaughter may love this one. I might just give this one to her, because she just will play with the glitter and look at the glitter and love it. So there's that one. And here's my final card. Again, some of those vintage images. And these papers actually came from a pack that I got from Scrapbook. No, I'm sorry, from Simon Says Stamp. It was an Easter set that came with some stamps that I got and some papers and some other things. And they had been sitting in my stash for a long time, so I pulled them out and I said, my gosh, these are beautiful. How come I haven't used these yet? So I'm trying to do a lot of stash shopping and a lot of thrift store type stuff. And just with that, I've been able to create so many cute things. And this is the inside. This needs to be a little darker. It's kind of light. And you can't hardly see this, but I stamped a tiny chick in there too. But yeah. So that's pretty much it. This was a short one this time, and I'm hoping to come back next Saturday if I manage to get my timing right, and possibly show y'all some things that I made with this guy. I love him. Look at him. He's just too cute. I feel like I want to name him. I think I might name him Theodore. I don't know. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Y'all have a good day. Bye-bye.